Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome aboard.
I was going to say something in French then, but I couldn't think what it was.
Ah, mais oui.
Mais oui, bonjour.
We are Bottom of the Stream, and as every week, we are diving down into the Netflix stream to see if we can find a hidden gem of a movie.
Yeah, we are indeed. And we've gone all the way down to Canada this week. French Canada.
Hey?
Hey? French-Canadian movie The Decline is the subject of the movie show this week. The Decline was released in 2020. It is a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 23 minutes. Currently rated at 6.0 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay.
Thoughts on that?
It's a rating.
It's a rating. It is indeed.
I would have, I'm not saying I thought this, but I would have thought maybe it would be higher.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I think I agree.
Yeah.
This film, it's time for me to butcher some names. This film stars Guillaume Laurin. He plays Antoine. He's been in lots of French stuff, but nothing you probably would have ever seen. Marie-Evelyne plays Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's got a great name. The guy who plays Alan is called Real Bosse. Or Real Bosse. The Real Boss.
Oh, Real Boss.
Written by Charles Dion, Nicolas Caref, Patrice Laliberte also directed this movie and also has a writing credit on it. There's not a lot of stuff about this movie on the internet, but I did find one quite interesting fact.
Okay, I love a good fact.
We've done this is a foreign movie, this is in French.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in ages, it has a dub in English.
Yes.
Which we haven't had a dub for a long time.
No, we haven't actually.
The English dub for this movie was recorded by the same actors.
Oh, nice.
All of them dubbed their own lines in English.
Cool.
Which I thought was really cool. It is actually quite a good dub. It's not brilliant, but I don't think they're brilliant actors. But yeah, I've never heard of that. I've heard of the occasional person do it.
Yes.
For a whole cast to do it, I thought was really interesting.
That's cool.
That's why they've all got a bit of a French twang, because they're French people doing an English accent. Do you have a one-word review of The Decline? No. Hello.
I'm trying. I did have one, but I felt it'd give too much away.
Okay.
I would just say you've got red on you.
Okay. Fair. I like it. This film starts. Where does this film start, Nick?
I've got my notes this week.
Excellent. That's good. I like how you've written The Decline like it's going down a staircase.
Oh, thanks.
I'm really impressed by that.
This is the effort I go to behind the scenes. You see. We open looking over the shoulder of a man.
We do indeed.
Who is looking at... I've put some sheets.
I've put in blood-stained sheets.
Yeah.
So it looked like he was looking at a bed covered in blood.
Yeah.
And then it hits straight into the title card.
We do.
The very early title card. And we meet this same man. He wakes up his daughter.
Yes.
Tells her, we've got to go. It's like panicked middle of the night.
Yes. Get your coat on, get your hat on, get your scarf on.
Get your bag.
It's cold.
We need to get out of the house. They get all their gear together and they leave in their car. And it's like...
Mum's already in the garage.
Prepping. Just waiting.
The vehicle.
And I was like, oh, this is quite an interesting start. It felt like the start of The Last of Us. Because that's pretty much how that happens. There's lots of sirens going on in the distance. And then he stops. He pulls over the car.
Yeah.
And he stops at a stopwatch. And it's at 17 minutes and 53 seconds. And that's how long it took them to get off the island. Yeah. So it's a drill.
They're doing some kind of dry run.
Survival drill. And it's their new record. They're celebrating the fact that they've managed to get out in 17 minutes and 53 seconds.
He turns to his daughter and he's like, well, would you like to go back to bed?
Shall we go home now?
And she's very much, yes.
Yes, you fucking idiot.
What are you doing to me?
Yeah. They are disaster survivalists, this family. They're preppers. I think that's the correct term
doomsday
for them.
preppers.
Doomsday preppers. And they're prepping for...
Doomsday.
Something that's going to go wrong with the world. Incidentally, this film was released on the 28th of February 2020.
Really?
Less than a month before the world went to shit. So, yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. It's like... Because all the way through, they're talking about, like, potential pandemics that could happen, potential disasters, potential crises in the world. And then this movie comes out and then that happens like a few weeks later. It blew my mind a little bit. Then he watches a video on how to preserve rice.
Yeah, it's like a food prep storage tutorial.
How to store rice so it lasts forever. And then we cut away from the family, and we follow Antoine in his car, and he's been invited through a voiceover of that we're hearing to a training course, which he's now at. Yeah. He just arrives at this training course. He parks up his car. The guy who was on the YouTube video a minute ago greets him.
He's there in real life.
He's there in real life. He's not just a YouTuber. Covers up his car.
Yeah, we're out in the snow-covered countryside.
Don't know where we are. Somewhere in snowy Canada. Covers up his car, camouflages the car, gives him a blindfold, and says, "Put this on, get on my snowmobile, my skidoo, and I'll take you to the camp, to the compound." And he does. He gets a bit of a ride from Alan. This guy's called Alan. Or Alain. Alan, if you're English. And whilst they're travelling along there on their skidoo, Alain is kind of saying, "I've got 500 acres of land. All this land is mine." And it keeps the rest of the world out.
Exactly.
He is a uber survivalist. He is not prepared to greet anybody else from the rest of the world. And then they arrive. He meets the fellow guests who are also there.
Yeah, there's some already there, and then there's a couple more that arrive very shortly.
So he meets Hannah and David first, and then he meets Francoise, and then he meets Rachel. And I've written, that's it. That's all of them. And then Sebastian turns up.
Yeah, he's the last one in.
He's the last one in.
Next skidoo trip.
There's like 6 of them. They get put up in this camp. It's like an outdoor rigid tent kind of area where they're going to sleep.
It's pretty nice though. This setup nice this
compound.
Guy's got.
Yeah, it's a compound. He gives them a tour of the compound.
He does. And Alain goes through the fact that there's generators, there's enough gas, petrol,
solar powered.
Keep going.
Fully powered.
Yeah.
Fully stocked. There's a greenhouse full of food. He's got animals that he can
even makes his own maple syrup.
Yeah, that's because he reckons that's his thing.
Yeah.
When the world ends, people are going to want a bit of sweetness, is what he said. He even has escape routes all around the place in case he gets attacked.
He does.
Different routes around the compound, trails around the compound. That some he's booby trapped, some he hasn't, and one of them leads to a storage.
He says that always take the right fork.
Yes. And then you get to the storage container.
Get you to the emergency supplies.
Survival gear is. They're all then in the tent. It's nighttime. They're all sharing a tent. And they have a bit of a chat about how they think the world's going to end and all this. And then the lights go out. Curfew is 10:30.
They're sort of getting to know each other a bit. Yeah. And is it David who says it's not his first time?
Yeah, I think a couple of them have been before. And
maybe one, yeah.
I think somebody had said, I think Rachel said she'd done training with other people before, but not Alain. So yeah, they're all different levels of experience in this. The next morning we get a bit of a montage. They're kind of, some of them are out on a run.
Yeah, they go yomping, don't they?
Yeah, some of them are doing a bit of gardening. There's some wood cutting going on. Basically just like living on this compound. And we cut straight to that night time. They're all eating dinner together. And Alain kind of warns them about other people in the world who don't think like they do, who don't exactly agree with some of his.
Yeah, he says, look, it's just a matter of time before the world goes to shit, and
turns out it was less than a month.
We'll be the ones that are in a good position because we know what's really going on.
Yeah,
and sort of Seb does a toast, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Great to meet like-minded people.
Yeah, great to meet Alain. Thanks for teaching us all this shit. They all kind of toast each other. Then they're going to sit around a campfire outside.
Yeah.
A bit of play fighting.
Yeah, had a few drinks.
Yeah, let's all show off our big muscles.
And it comes out that through the course of this conversation and then the bit of play fighting that Rachel is like pretty highly trained.
Yeah, she used to be in the army.
Yeah.
She easily defeats all the men.
She knows Krav Maga.
She does. She easily she's throwing them around. She gets them in arm lock. She's easily the best one.
She beats David like twice, doesn't she?
She does, yeah, which he's not happy about.
No, because he thinks he's the big. Yeah, I've done this course
He thinks
before,
he's Mr. Billy Big Bollocks, yeah. Next day, they have a bit of shooting training. They get to learn how to use some of Alain's guns. That sort of stuff. They're like assault courses with guns and pistols and all sorts. And then Alain gets a text. I'm going to just call him Alan because I just am. He gets a text message to say one of his snares is triggered.
Yeah.
So he's basically got all these snares and traps around the farm.
And all his booby traps. And they've all got a trigger which sends an alert to his phone.
Very modern day.
He's teched up.
It turns out it's a rabbit. They've caught a rabbit. And so this is the perfect time to teach you how to butcher a rabbit.
Yeah.
And he does. He shows them what to do, how to skins it, guts it, whatever you need to do to it. Tells Frank to have a go. Frank throws up everywhere, much to the amusement of everybody else who was there. He gets a bit of a ribbon for that. Now, that night they then have a discussion of what they would do if they accidentally trapped a human, or if they did trap a human, what they would do about that. Bit random, bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, but Elaine has like set them up through some of this, the conversations to be like, you know, when the world does go to shit, people will find us eventually, and we'll have to defend this. This is our space. This is our.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've watched any sort of post-apocalyptic movies, you know that that's a fact.
So they get into talking about, could you kill a person if you needed to kill a person?
It's also a bit of foreshadowing going on. I've written here that night Antoine can't sleep, so he gets up to get some water, but it turns out it was like really early the next morning.
Yeah, I also was confused.
Because he wakes up and he finds Alain playing the piano in his office, kind of in his own bedroom kind of thing. And he says to him, look, if you want to bring your family here, you can bring your family here.
Yeah, Elaine's like, I can tell you're the sort of good person
you're the person I want
help
around.
This place thrive.
Yeah.
And Antoine's like, because Antoine says, this last 2 days have been amazing. So they seem to be developing a bit of a bond.
Yeah, absolutely. And Antoine's like this is the guy we followed from the beginning, so he's getting all this special treatment. Then we see a different side of Alain, because he catches Rachel wasting water. She's
doing the washing up.
Yeah.
But she leaves the tap on while she's washing up in a sink, and he goes berserk.
He does. We see a very different side of him. He
snaps
at her, basically. And she apologises. She's like, I thought it was coming straight from the river. He's like, even if it was, why are you wasting it? She apologises. And then he's like...
Awkward.
It's awkward, yeah. Everybody's kind of like, oh...
Where did that come from?
Where did that come from? That's a different side to him that we haven't seen before. And then he's like, I'm going to teach you how to make a bomb. Because you never know when you might need to make a bomb. So he does. Then we go to bomb making class.
Yeah, so they're making all these pipe bombs, which is like one of the booby traps types of booby traps he's got set around this compound. And they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. They do it. They build these bombs. They go out and test them on the range a little bit. Then kind of shit goes down. They're tidying up. Well, Alan says, one of you come with me.
We'll start cooking dinner.
I think it was Sebastian.
Yeah.
We'll start cooking dinner.
Move the stuff back to the store.
Tidy up, get ready for dinner. So they're tidying up. And I think it's Francois just like complaining about his family and things like that, and he's having a chat.
Yeah, they've got the skidoo back to the store. They're basically just taking the kit back.
Yeah,
and Francois picks up a tray of pipe bombs.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, he's in pieces on the floor.
Yeah,
it made me jump.
Yeah, I was literally made me sit up. I was like,
oh okay. He literally gets blown to pieces. By
what we'll say for this movie, there is a couple of moments. That is one of them. Where I'm already thinking could be a couple of Botska memorable moment nominees in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's still alive.
Bits.
He's in pieces, but he is still alive at this point.
His shins are blown off. What do you call a man with no shins?
Don't know.
Tony.
Is this like your new feature? You're introducing dad joke section? Because I'm down for it if you are. If you want to do it every week, that's fine. He does die. He's in a bad way. His whole body's blown to smithereens, basically.
He's in a bad way.
He's in a bad way.
That is the absolute understatement. Yeah, he's in bits.
Yeah, they take him back to
Which looks great on the snow.
Yeah, it does. It does. Blood on the snow always looks great. So they take him back to the house, the main house. They've got him on a table.
Rachel and Antoine are trying to raise the alarm.
Yeah.
And Sebastian and, is it
Dave
are with them, and they just shut up. They just gone into shock. And Elaine's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he's disappeared somewhere. And they're kind of like, we need to call the cops. We need to call an ambulance.
Yeah.
Alain will not allow cops on his land. So if you call an ambulance, they'll bring cops. That is not happening. We're not allowing that. Then we get the shot from the beginning of the film. That's the bloody sheets that we saw earlier.
And it's them, covering up Francois. He has not made it.
Alain wants to bury him. This causes a debate among the rest of the crew who are like, there's a debate of what's the best course of action here. Do we call the police? And then we'll probably end up going to jail.
Well, no, the rest of them say, we've not done anything. It was an accident.
Yeah.
They basically come to the conclusion, we think we should call the police. Elaine's like, well, no, we'll go to jail. He's trying to scaremonger them.
Of course he is. And some of them are on Elaine's side. Some of them it's Anton that's taken the other side. So it kind of divides the camp slightly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Elaine says, look, calm down. Everybody calm down. Let's go to bed. We'll leave him here. We'll talk about it in the morning when we've got fresh eyes on it. Yeah. Let's sleep on it. And we'll talk about it in the morning. So they all agree. They go to the tent. They go back to the tent. They have a bit of a chat about whether they should throw Elaine under the bus.
Except Elaine, because he's in the main house, I guess.
Antoine is, our main character, Antoine, is absolutely adamant that they should call the police.
He says, we were just witnesses.
Yeah.
Or we've not done anything wrong.
They argue.
They kind of all agree, don't they, eventually, that it's, if anyone's liable, it's only Elaine.
Yeah,
They've not done anything.
Yeah.
We need to call the police.
Yes. Which they eventually agree to do.
Except David, who's sitting quietly on his bed.
Yeah, he's just lying on his bed, keeping out of the conversation. And then Hannah spots something out of the corner of her eye through the window of this tent. And the whole thing changes.
Yeah.
Because they go outside and Elaine's already burning the body. The body's on fire. He's made the decision for them. That does now screw them all because that looks like they've all covered up this murder. Anna attacks Elaine at this point, and he punches her in the face.
He does. He bloodies her nose.
He does. He knocks her out. She freaks out at this. She's like, well, obviously I'm going to leave now. I've just been punched by a dude. So she goes back to the tent to pack her stuff up.
She's swiftly joined by Seb and Antoine and Rachel. They're all packing their stuff.
All packing until Dave... Dave is just not a French name. David. They call him Dave, though, to be fair.
He is called Dave.
He pulls a gun on them all. He's firmly on Alan's side now. He's like, it's too late. We can't do anything now. And he grasses on them. He tells Elaine, look, they were going to leave and blame you anyway.
Yeah.
And we've got our two teams, basically, now. This film now splits into two teams.
Sure.
You've got Anna... Seb, Francois. No, he's dead.
Antoine.
Rachel. On one side and Dave and Elaine on the other. Rachel manages to talk Dave down and takes the gun.
Yeah.
Manages to put the gun away. And she's like, right, we are going to leave. Let's all get to the skidoo. Bear in mind, they all turned up in blindfolds. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
But they also know to keep to the right on all the forks and they'll get somewhere. So as they're packing up the skidoo to leave, Elaine decides, I'm going to shoot Hannah in the leg.
Yeah.
So he does. He just takes a shot at her, shoots her in the leg, takes her down.
I think we didn't really get much on her character, but I think there was a reference at the start that she'd been there a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't her first time. She had, I'm not being suggestive here, but she a relationship, but she knew
him
already.
Better than the rest of them did. Yeah.
He shoots her in the leg.
Shoots her in the leg, takes her down. The others see this as a threat.
God, this girl did some good scream.
She did know how to scream. She starts screaming. The others all run. They run down these escape routes that Elaine's got. Dave and Elaine patch her up. They take her back to the cabin.
They do.
Patch her up. Tie her up. Yeah.
And she is still screaming.
Yeah. Literally full bore screaming. It wasn't nice. So then they decide, Dave and Elaine are like, right, I'm calling him Elaine now. Dave and Alan decide they need to go after the others. They can't let them get away. They can't let them escape. And there's booby traps out there, so they're actually in danger as well. So they go after them. And then the second scene in this film that made me jump is this is a great scene as well. So Seb's leading the way. They're running through this forest.
Yeah.
Seb's leading the way. Anton and Rachel are following. There's just the three of them now. And suddenly, Seb just gets stopped in his tracks. And he has been caught in one of the snares around his neck.
He is garroted.
He's completely garroted. And the way he just stopped and how he reacted to
jerked
it.
Upwards
it really looked like he had been. And it was really well played. He played it really well.
It was horrible, but it was really good.
It was really good. It was really well played.
It was an absolute shocker.
Yeah. And it kills him instantly. He literally dies right there and then. By the time the other two get to him, he's already dead.
Yeah.
So Rachel and Antoine decide, right, we need to get off these trails now because clearly it's dangerous. And clearly if he's going to follow us, this is the way he's going to come. So they do. They start trekking off trail through the woods. And I'm like, well, you're not going to find anything now. Surely this compound is like supposed to be built so nobody can find anything. Then Alan and Dave find Seb's body. He's still hanging from this tree, standing where he was. And they also, it's snow, remember, so they can see exactly where Antoine and Rachel have gone.
And they're outdoorsmen.
Yes. They know what to do. So they follow the tracks of where those two have gone. And those two managed to find the supply shed.
They do.
That was supposed to be hidden and only available through the tracks. And they stock up. They've got loads of supplies. They
tools,
tool up,
weapons,
a
GPS.
Yes, they've literally got everything they're going to need to survive the night out in the snow.
But I like that in this movie, it went to the effort earlier on. It laid those rules.
It did,
we were told that stuff is in a shed out in the woods.
Yeah, and it was.
And because we complain so many times of like, oh, that's just there to help the plot on. The effort was here. Things were mentioned and they were there. So you let. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
From these movies,
set your rules and follow your rules.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a well-written film, this. It is.
It's
how it all comes together.
Tight.
It's really clever.
So tight.
It is really tight. It's quite short and snappy. I mean, this is the least notes I've ever written on a film, I think. We're over halfway through this movie already.
Oh, sure. For the first half an hour of this movie is up to them, having the tour, doing their training. But it's really watchable.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the characters are quite watchable and everybody's quite good. There isn't any real bad actors.
It does a lot with not much.
Yeah, agreed. I'd agree with that. They very nearly get caught. They are in this supply shed and they can hear the skidoo coming. So they go and hide. They go and hide in like a dip in the ground, like a ditch, I guess. And Dave and Alan turn up and they realise that right now they've got weapons. They've tooled up.
It feels like Alain is still a bit sort of we can talk them down. Yeah. It's not a lost cause. Whereas Dave at this point is like, we shoot to kill.
Yeah, we need to kill them now. They know too much.
Dispose of them.
They're going to shoot at us. They've got guns. We know they've got guns now. Yeah. He even goes to the point of wearing a balaclava for the rest of the movie now. He's like, he full on tools himself up. And he's like, yeah, we need to kill. We're going to have to kill them now. And Alain kind of agrees. He kind of knows. He doesn't want to admit it, but he kind of knows that that's the case. But they don't find them whilst they're hiding less than 10 yards from the shed. Yeah. They don't find them. And they all leave. And then it cuts to the next morning.
Yeah, dawn breaks.
Antoine and Rachel look like they've been out all night. Their faces are very red. They're look freezing cold.
Icicles in their beards.
Yeah, they are. And there's those little details that we don't see very often as well, and it was nice.
They're worried because they've got to cross an iced river.
Yes, Rachel remembers from the drive-in that they crossed a river, and they've now found a river. So,
but they're worried because they're going to be exposed.
Yeah, because they're obviously having to leave the trees now to go out and cross this river. And they do. Antoine leads the way. Rachel follows. And then this film makes me jump again. Because I knew it was going to happen, and yet it still happened. Rachel just plummets through the
I thought they were going to get shot at.
Yeah, I did as well.
But no.
She goes straight through. She snaps on a weak piece of the ice.
Fall into the river.
And it's really well shot because she goes down and she goes away from the hole straight away. And Alan can see her through the ice. He's following her. He's like clearing the snow away. He's trying to bash it away. He gets his knife out. And it's really tense because the time she can see she's drowning. She can't get out. She can see him. He can see her, but they can't get to each other. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
It is really tense.
Yeah, it's really tense. Great scene. And he does eventually manages to smash the ice and pull her out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she's never going to survive that. She's there for ages. She's definitely a gunner. But then he just rubs her a bit and she's all right.
Yeah, but again, they've got a survival
they've got a survival kit. So
to be fair,
he wraps her in tinfoil.
He does. He finds a bit of a shelter.
Yeah.
They snuggle up, warm.
Get naked
they
together.
do all the stuff.
They get naked
do.
together in a sleeping bag. He covers her in tinfoil. He's just rubbing her all over.
Saves her life.
He does. He saves her life.
They just stay like that till her clothes have
I think it's like the next day. I think there's like another day passes. I've written here she survives after a bit of a nap because they wake up together. And she basically says, look, you've saved my life there, thanks. She thanks him for saving her life. She said, you made the decision that I didn't make when I was in the army. We get a bit more backstory on her, how two of her men died because of a decision that she made.
Yeah.
And when you start feeling guilty in the army, you have to leave. And that's why she left the army. And then they get back to the cars.
Yeah.
So she somehow remembered the whole way.
They had a GPS.
Yeah, but how did they know where the cars were? Well, I guess they did.
Well, he knew where they drove to where the cars were, so they must have had an idea.
Yeah, I guess so. It just seems like they went to this whole thing of showing us being blindfolded.
Yeah. And
then they just got back to the cars, what looked like pretty easily. But I guess you're right.
No, some time had passed.
Yeah, no, it had. Yeah, it was at least a couple of days, I think. They get back to the cars. They get into Antoine's car. He tries to reverse out and realizes that his tires have been slashed.
Yeah.
He gets out of the car, looks at his tires, and then instantly his head explodes.
And this was my biggest wow moment of the film.
Agreed.
I thought this is our lead guy.
Yeah, you've killed off our main character.
Brilliant.
Instantly.
Brilliant.
This is elevates. That elevates.
It's not the first time I've seen it.
No,
but it's the first time I've seen it in a movie that we've watched on this show, I think.
It's unusual in any movie.
It is, yeah.
It is unusual in any movie to kill off your main character, who you've established as your main
20
character.
minutes to go in this movie.
Yeah, he's still got...
He's not... He's actually...
Because you're not expecting it.
This movie is not about this guy.
No. I wasn't expecting this guy to die at this point, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah. The whole thing is he's got to get back to his family.
For me. Yeah. Even the last shot of him was him looking at the picture of his family in the car.
Yeah.
And you know where these movies are going. You know he's going to get back to his family.
I loved it because I absolutely felt like the rug had been pulled out from
100%. I couldn't agree more. Because you watch all these movies and you know where they're going. You know that eventually the good guys are going to survive and the bad guys are going down. Not in this one. Not for Antoine. His head exploded at this point.
Yeah.
Because Dave's got a sniper on them and he's firing at him. And now Rachel becomes our main character for the rest of this movie.
And Dave just lights up that car.
He does. He literally shoots the shit out of this car. Rachel manages to get out of the car, gets around the back of the car, uses it like protection.
The other thing I liked about this though, because now my mind's racing, I'm thinking, oh crap, she's the main character.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, they've planted a seed. She's in a bad position. She's getting shot at. She's pinned down in this car. But in my brain, the first thing my brain's gone is like, if she gets him one-on-one, she's going to beat him.
Yeah, because we've seen it earlier. She can beat him. We've seen him beat him.
Yeah. Because again, you told me she's trained.
Yeah, and we've seen her fight.
She was, military trained.
Do you know what's happening here, Nick? We're watching a proper movie. What something that did make me laugh before she got out of the car is that he was shooting at the car. He shot the radio on.
Yes,
and then he shot the radio off again. I was like, that's a great shot. Well done. She's kind of hiding around the back. She's got a pistol, so she's shooting him back.
There's a really rear view mirror gets shot off.
Yes,
and lands in her lap. Yeah. So she kind of uses it.
She uses it to find out her bearing,
find out where he is.
It's really clever. And then the shootout goes on for ages, and they're both shooting at each other, and it's really tense. Yeah. With no idea where Alan is. He's the only other guy who's alive, as far as we know.
Unaccounted for.
Yeah. She manages to shoot him in the leg. She shoots Dave in the leg, takes him down. And it's the instant he hit the floor, she was on him.
Yeah.
She ran across this car park, pounced on him, beat the absolute living crap out of him.
She
pistol whips him to death.
Yeah. Brutally.
Yeah.
Beats this guy to death.
Yeah, absolutely. Literally, with the back of the gun, caves his head in.
And... you see that typical shot of we're looking up at her, blood's starting to cover her face. And then it cuts down to just what I can only describe as like a balaclava filled with mashed potato.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. It really did. That's a great show. Once she knows he's dead, she goes to check on Antoine. He's definitely dead.
Yeah.
He's got a massive hole in the back of his head that we can see. There's blood all over the snow.
She has a bit of a cry about it.
And then we see Alain pull up on his snowmobile. Don't know where he's been, but he pulls up now. She's gone by this point.
Yeah.
But he finds the two dead bodies. And he kind of looks forlornly into the distance. He knows he's lost control of this now. And he also knows Rachel's the only one left alive.
It appears Rachel's got a new plan.
Yes.
She's not going for freedom.
She's going back.
She's going back to the camp.
She heads back to the compound. And there's blood all over the floor.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, shit, I forgot about Hannah. Because she was just tied to the table last time we saw her. We don't know what happened to her. She's also dead. She's very dead.
It looks like she has bled out, but as she was doing that, she had dragged herself and the table she was tied to towards the door, basically.
To try and get... So there's like a streak of blood across the living room. And I genuinely had completely forgotten all about her.
Yeah.
Because everything was so tense of what had been going on. I'm like, her being tied to that table was way out of my memory. So I was like, oh yeah.
It's clever though, because Rachel presumably has bought herself time.
Yeah.
Because... Look, Alain would obviously work out eventually she's gone back to the camp, but it's going to take him a while because she's going to have gone back in the tracks and she's setting up a little bunker for herself.
Yeah, absolutely. She sets fire to the greenhouse.
Yeah.
To, I guess, to entice Alan back.
Yeah.
Because she knows that he's going to be able to see the smoke, which is exactly what happens. She sets fire to the greenhouse. All of his plants that he's been working on for years go up in smoke, and he spots the smoke from the distance. He knows what's going on now, so he heads towards the smoke. And as he gets close to the compound, she starts shooting at him with a sniper rifle.
Yeah, she's from
the top window. Yeah. And he starts shooting back, and we've got another shootout, and it goes on for ages again. There's just the two of them shooting at each other. However, Alan has the upper hand here because he has got some smoke grenades, which he throws down in front of him, which gives him clearance to get to the house without being shot at. So he gets inside. He tries to reason with her as they go up, as he's going up the stairs.
He's kind of stalking up the stairs. Yeah,
trying to reason with her a little bit. And then they fight, and this is one of the best fight scenes I've seen in a long time.
Look, I just think
but there's a really weird shot in it.
I've seen it before, but I didn't expect to see it in this kind of film.
Yeah,
and it's just a lovely touch. We have come up the stairs, and we are just watching through the open door.
Yeah.
We, as the audience, the camera does not move.
We do not enter that room.
We see the fight only when it is in the open doorway.
Yeah. In fact, we back away. The camera backs away from the door.
Yeah.
It's almost like we don't want to see this fight. The director doesn't want us to see this man and woman fighting. And then we can hear what's going on. You can hear stabbing noises. You can hear gunshots going on.
We hear a gunshot go off, and you don't know who's...
No. And then
been afflicted, and then they roll back into the door. The way the camera just
backed away from this action as if it didn't want us to see
lovely.
it. It was beautiful. It really was. And then it bursts out of the room, this fight, and he throws her down the stairs. She goes flying down the stairs, crunches into the banister at the bottom. And I've just written it. That's a great fight. It's a really good movie fight, I thought. Then he starts strangling her with a toaster.
He absolutely twats her on the head with it first.
Yeah, he does.
Like they're fighting in the storeroom.
Yeah.
He just clongs her with a toster.
And then he wraps the cord around her neck and he starts...
It's a massive toaster as well.
Yeah, it is. It's like an 8 slicer. And so he's kind of lying on the floor with her on top of him, backwards. And she's got a knife and she's just ploughing into his leg with this knife, stabbing him in his leg. Go. Yeah.
And then she puts him in an awesome Kimura, and then just snaps his arm.
Snaps his arm, breaks his arm, chokes him out, makes him unconscious, ties him up, drags him outside. Then we hear again, which I thought was a really nice touch, was the toast from earlier on.
Yeah.
Where it was like everybody was happy and everybody was toasting each other as like these great saviors of the world. She ties him to the trailer on the back of this snowmobile.
Well, before she does that, so we go outside as the voiceover's going on, and I thought it was a really nice shot. So you get like a drone shot,
we kind of
pulling away, but we can see her dragging Alan across the snow.
Yeah,
you can see the burning greenhouse.
Yeah, and
you can even still see the embers of the fire with Francois's body in it.
Yeah, it's still
And obviously, there's just a trail of red going across the snow.
It's a beautiful from above. It's a beautiful shot. It really is, and it's pretty much the last shot of the movie. She ties him to the snowmobile and drives him away.
He says, "Kill me."
Yeah, and she doesn't, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's brilliant.
It's fucking brilliant. It is really.
It's honestly, it's like I had a feeling from the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This is going to be fine.
Yes.
It might even be good.
Yes.
Because I know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know who to.
Yeah.
But I suspect we're going to be following Antoine's trying to survive from whatever the incident is.
And then he eventually will survive, get back to his family, and everybody will live happily ever after.
Yeah. And
that's the
this
template for this kind of movies.
Exactly, because we've seen
hundreds of them.
That sort of cookie cutter movie over and over again. And this kind of is that, but it isn't, because it twists your expectations.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect Francois to blow up like that.
No.
There's no build up, it just happens.
Yeah, it's just completely out of the blue. Yeah. As if it is like a crazy accident that it just happens. He just dies. Same when Seb gets garroted.
Yeah.
You don't see that coming. It's like, whoa, that's just happened out of nowhere.
And then for the triple whammy, when our inverted commas lead character gets shot in the head with 25 minutes left.
Yeah. It blew my mind. It's like you don't see, literally, you don't see things like that happen, especially in movies of this quality, of this level.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. You don't kill off your main character before the end.
I wasn't expecting to be surprised.
No, the bravery of doing that.
And it did it several times.
Yeah, it did. The bravery of doing that It's really clever. When Rachel was introduced in the film, and I'd noticed this, I was thinking about this morning, he meets all the other characters, and when he meets Rachel, it's just like offhanded. She's barely even like visible on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if she's gone from a literally nothing character to the main character during the course of the movie.
It's a really fascinating choice to do.
It really
that.
is. Yeah. It really is. It's really clever.
I know it's a bit gimmicky, but it works. It serves this movie really well.
Yeah.
To that sort of rug pull, and then you're sort of. It's like, I know, I can't believe I'm about to compare this, but like, if you look at last week's movie,
yeah, okay,
when all of a sudden, 35 minutes in, old Duke Enright was dropped in,
yeah,
and you're like, what?
Where did he come from? Yeah,
but they pulled it off this week in
the
decline.
Yeah, they really did.
Someone who's just been off in the background is, by the end of this movie, you're invested, and she's the one you want to survive. And look, I just didn't expect this nuance from this movie.
No, I didn't. I was expecting it to be like a cookie cutter survival movie. We've seen them before. We've seen them on this show before. Do you remember Red Dot?
Yeah.
That's the film that you have to compare this movie to because it's virtually the same movie.
Did not stick the landing.
Did not stick the landing. It's a terrible, not a great movie. There's also films like Hold the Dark, similar vibe.
It is similar to What Keeps You Alive because of like the rug pull moments.
Yeah.
And that had the impact of being, again, I wasn't expecting to be surprised by this movie. I thought it was going to be a cookie cutter survival. Things go wrong.
I'm going to throw another one at you.
Yeah.
CEO.
Okay.
That was a similar one. They were people who went on a camp.
Yes.
And they all ended up getting murdered.
Off screen.
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
This one, we've seen this movie done many times, but badly.
Yeah.
And we've finally seen it done well.
I think very well.
Very well.
I thought
it was really refreshing to see.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It looked really good. The appeal of blood on snow is always good. It always looks nice in movies. It had pretty much everything you'd want from a movie like this.
It even sounds good.
Yeah.
The crunch of the snow compared to last week. And we've not really spoke about the acting. The acting's... I don't know if anyone...
Did you watch the original dub?
I did,
The French dub.
Yeah, with subtitles. I'm not sure if anyone was great, but no one was bad.
No. Some of the dub work wasn't great, but you have to forgive that. They're not like voice actors.
No, and there's probably something in the editing skill set and budget.
I mean, it's really nice that all the actors came back and did their own dub. I really like that. It shows the respect for the movie as well, and they obviously were trying to make something that's going to be watched by as many people as possible. And I haven't got many bad things to say about this one. I genuinely haven't.
I kind of almost was like, I'd kind of like to see what happened to Alain when he gets back to
how does his story
society
continue? Yeah, absolutely.
See him get his justice.
Does she take him to the police? Does she what does she do? Where does she go? Where does this... It's nice that it's left open-ended.
Yeah.
Where do Rachel and Alain end up?
All I'll say is if you harkening back to a previous time, if I'd have found this late at night, because I couldn't sleep or whatever, just stuck your TV on. 5 minutes into this, what's this? And then 15 minutes later, I realise I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then an hour and 15 minutes later, I realise I've found a hidden
movie.
gem of a movie that I just completely by accident.
Perfect. You absolutely have. We absolutely have found a hidden gem of a movie here.
Yeah.
We really have.
We've seen better.
Yeah.
But
we've seen much worse.
This was a real nice surprise.
Yeah, it was. It really was. I was a little bit disappointed.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, me too.
Which we don't say very often. Normally I'm like, fuck's sake, how much longer is this on for? Another hour? What are you talking about? It's only on 10 minutes.
It stuck to its rules, which again is a frequent complaint that we see doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it was all the better for it.
Couldn't agree more.
A tightly packed, taut thriller.
Couldn't agree more. We don't seem to have done very long talking about it, but it's like you say, it's really tight and shit just happens and it makes sense and we don't need to explain it.
But I've not got many notes, but that's not because nothing happened. That's because I don't. There's not much dialogue.
No,
it's how many times can I say? Look, they did their training, they did their shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all there on the screen.
When we say there's a shooting montage, that's probably 10 minutes of this movie. But All we can describe it as is they're shooting some targets.
It's a strong recommend for me.
Yeah, 100%. It is for me as well.
Yeah.
It's a hidden gem. It's done what we're trying to do. What's the best thing about it? It might be the writing, you know.
Yeah, I think it's the writing, it's the script. It's a really good script.
Yeah.
Without many words in.
Yeah, you're right. It is. It's a really tight story that's really told really well, and you don't really need much more from it than what it is.
No,
it's people going crazy after somebody accidentally gets murdered. It's as simple as that.
I feel like it's a bit easy to say it's the cinematography, it's the setting, because you're just in a beautiful place.
Yeah,
and you couldn't not capture that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think it is. It's the writing. It's the script. It's the.
I think it is.
Yeah.
What would you change?
I don't know if I'd.
I don't. There's not a lot.
I don't think it would make it better. This, like I said about, I'd like to see another 10 minutes. Yeah. But I don't think it would make. I don't think that would make it a better film.
No.
I just want to see what happens when she gets back to civilization, and I don't think there's much I'd change.
I don't think there is much I'd change about it either, to be honest. I can't think of anything. It did everything I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
And you can't really say fairer than that. Should we talk stream table?
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it from the bottom?
You can do.
Okay. Currently at number 14 in the stream table. This is the 15th film going in. It's Smart Christmas. 13, Theatre of Fear. 12, Needle in a Time Stack. 11, Another Round. The current top 10 of the bottom of the stream table season 8 is The Mansion at number 10. The Ledge at number 9. Take the 10 at number 8. The Cleansers at number 7. You Are Not My Mother is at number 6. Number 5 is The Giver. Number 4 is Double World. Number 3 is The Legacy of a White-Tailed Deer Hunter. Number 2 is Nature Reborn. Currently at the top of the stream is Old People.
Okay. Well, for me personally,
yeah,
this is in my top 3 films we've seen.
Ever?
This season.
I was going to say. Yes, agreed.
So, Old People, this, and You Are Not My Mother are the best 3 films we've seen this season. For me.
Okay. Fine.
I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure which one of them I put it. I think there's an argument this could be the table topper.
I think it is. For me, discounting the rest of the table, you look at that and say, is this better than Old People? Yeah, it is. Simple.
I think the element of surprise in this movie goes a really long way.
Yeah. Old
People is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
But, and this isn't a criticism, it sets its stall out and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So you know that from the first 15 minutes. The fact that this does pull the rug out from under you 3 times.
Yeah.
And you think, like I said, you think you're getting a cookie cutter movie, and it does something. It takes some unexpected turns.
Yeah.
We just don't see that often.
No, not at all.
We've seen it a handful of times ever.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason,
I think it, for me,
probably goes top.
I think for me it goes top. I think it is just a proper movie, and we don't see very many proper movies on this show. Yeah. And taking away the whole rest of that table, is it a better movie than Old People is an easy question for me. Yeah, it is.
Let's do it.
Wow. From 13th last week to 1st this week. That's what this film, this show
I tell you what, though, I reckon there's probably not many movies that have had as long a reign at the top of a table as Old People.
Old People's been up there a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what week of the show it was, but it was early in this season. Yeah. But it's beaten. It's beaten to the top.
Look,
by the
like
decline.
I say, guys listening to this, The Decline, if you go and find it on Netflix, is a strong recommend for me.
Me too. And that's very rare that we both agree on something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Agreed.
Got a lot going for it.
Current top of the stream, it's got 11 weeks it's got to try and... No, 10 weeks it's got to try and stay there.
Okay.
Reckon it can do it?
It's all down to Robin.
It is. Talking of Robin, shall we bring him out and see what he's got?
Let's see what she says.
He has picked a movie called Headshot. Any ideas?
No, I mean, I feel like it's something that's been on the list a while. I mean, I feel like I've seen it on there, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, let me find it on IMDb
Hit
for
me
you.
up.
Bear with me 1 second. It is an Indonesian movie.
Oh, okay.
From 2016.
I feel like we've not been to the Far East for a while.
It's got Iko Uwais in it. Uwais.
Oh, nice.
Do you want a synopsis?
Yes, please.
Uwais plays a young man who washes ashore, an amnesiac with a serious head injury, whose past come back to haunt him shortly after being nursed back to health by a young doctor. Violence ensues. Sweet, sweet violence. That's what it actually says on the IMDb synopsis page.
I'm up for some action.
It's an Indonesian action movie. 6.3 on IMDb.
Okay.
That's higher than this week's movie, according to them.
Yeah, I'm in.
So yeah, go out and watch Headshot. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you'll find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream.
Swimming trunks.
Swimming trunks, like Speedo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Budgie smugglers.
There probably is someone there, I'm not going to lie. After you've done all that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottom of the stream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you will get a wild card, which means you can do what I did last week, play a wild card, see if you can beat us all, and you might win a prize. And then when you've done all of that, head over to Discord. We have a lovely community of wonderful people in the Discord now, and we would like to expand that with more of you lovely people.
We really would.
We really would. The Discord link is in the show notes.
You will have a great time and make some new friends.
You will. We play games, we do watch-alongs, we do all sorts of cool stuff.
What is life all about if it is not about making new friends?
Couldn't agree more.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review or a rating anywhere you can review or rate podcasts. We are on all of those places. They are places like Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and all the other podcast places.
Absolutely. All of them. If we're not on one of them that you find, let us know and we'll get on there.
Yes.
Cool.
We are taking a week off next week.
We are, yeah, we should probably mention that. There will be no Wave on Monday. There will be no movie show next Thursday, but we'll be back the week after to talk about that movie that we've just picked, Headshot. So yeah, see you a week on Monday for the Wave.
We'll be back with a bang.
Literally, quite literally, with a bang. So yeah, we'll see you a week on Monday for the Wave and a week on Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers.
Bye.